Hi guys, welcome to September's reading wrap up. There we go. So, boom. First of all, today is September 9th. So, still pretty early in the month. If you notice, there wasn't a TBR wrap up video on my channel last month because I only read 3 books. And let me tell you what those 3 books were. I didn't make a video because I came back to school. I moved to a new apartment, started school again, and was really overwhelmed. I didn't even end up reading that much last month, which was understandable, but 3 is like really, 3 is nice, 3 is fine, and 3 is good. But if you know me, if you've been here for a while, I usually read like between 6 to like maybe the highest being 12 books a month, and last month just really wasn't my month. Last month we read The Summer of Broken Rules. I gave that 4.5 stars, which I actually really loved that book. I love the author. I just love C.L. Walter a lot, so I do plan on reading another one of their books this month. I also read Stolen Air, which is it's the first book in the Stolen Air series. That book I also gave 4.5. I love that book, and I feel like it got me back into like my whole fantasy little vibe. And even though it was like late summer when I read that book, I feel like it was a great way to kickstart the fall because I actually am in my fantasy bag right now, low-key, just a little bit. Also last month I read The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. If you know me, you know I love anything Ashley Poston, and that book was no different. Love that book, gave it 4.5 stars. I think The 7-Year Slip is still my all-time favorite book by her, but we read it. It was still really good. I just really love The 7-Year Slip. So those were all the books that I read in August, but now it's September, and this month my boyfriend and I have a challenge that basically if I read 15 books this month, then I get to go on a little book shopping spree. So I've been doing a tad. I was literally just at Barnes yesterday, but we're on a bit of a book buying ban. I'm trying to read as much as I can this month so that I can go on that little book shopping spree with him. So 15 books this month is the goal, and so far we've read 5, and we're in the middle of like 3 other books. So I feel like I'm on a roll. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot right now. Like I said, today's the 9th, so I still have like 3 weeks left, but I have finished quite a few books. 15 is a lot, so I decided why not update you right now because that's a lot of books. So the first book that I finished was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I actually really like this book. It was going around on TikTok. I've seen it everywhere. People have been talking about it. The cover's so cute. I think it's a series. So The Pumpkin Spice Cafe is the first one, and then The Cinnamon Bookstore is the second one. I think that's what it's called. I'm not really too sure, but I read that book. I literally read it in 1-2 days. It was so cute. Such a cute little fall romance. It was really nothing too special. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was nothing too special. It was cute. I liked it in the moment, but forgettable. But it was a fun time. So I did enjoy it. I did enjoy reading it. It was just there's nothing that really stood out to me, but it was still cute. I will keep going with the series. I will be reading the second one. Loved it. 3.5. It just wasn't anything too memorable for me. So yeah, but the romance was cute. The next book I read was They Both Die at the End. This I also read pretty quickly, but I did not love it. I was this close to DNFing it, but because I had this little challenge, this goal, I did not end up DNFing it. It was okay. I gave it 3 stars. It was nothing too great for me. I was kind of hoping to really like it. I saw Destiny's review about it on Goodreads. If you don't follow my Goodreads, you should follow my Goodreads. It's always in the description. But I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the characters. The plot was there, and I feel like it could have been executed so well. It's just the characters were not doing it for me. And there was a tad bit of romance, like subplot of romance, and I didn't really expect it. I did go into the book blind. Maybe this is categorized as a romance book. I don't know. I'm not sure. I did go into it blind. I just did not really enjoy it. The characters were annoying to me, and it was just so much. The romance was random, and I didn't really enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars, but honestly talking about it now, I'd give it like 2 or like 1.5. It really was not my favorite, and I don't know if I would read another book like that. I don't know, it just was not for me. But you might love it. Don't let my review make you not read it. You might like it, it just wasn't the book for me, and that's okay. After that, I read The Poet X, which I gave 3.5 stars as well. Now, Elizabeth Acevedo, she eats down, she never misses. I always love books by her, and I loved this book. It was just nothing, like, I've read better by her. So 3.5, but that's still pretty good. I still really enjoyed the book, actually. I love the main character, I love the poetry, and I just love the way Elizabeth Acevedo writes, because I feel like nobody writes like her. So I loved her book. I love all her books, but this was not my favorite book by her. I think my favorite book by her was Clap When You Land. And yeah, I don't know if she'll top that for me, but I really loved that book. I still really enjoyed this book. I love the culture, literally everything about it. I love the relationships, even though they were complicated, they were still, I don't know, it just added everything to the book to me, and I loved it. And I feel like the relationships being the way they were, I feel like that made the book all the more relatable, because nobody's relationship is perfect. No relationship is perfect, nothing's perfect, and I feel like she made it really relatable in this book, the way the main character's relationships were with her family and her friends, and you know, at home and at school. Like, I feel like it was very relatable. So I love that part about the book. I'm always gonna love Elizabeth Acevedo, so I'm always gonna love her books. She'll never miss for me. Like, I actually am in love with her, okay? And I have been forever. Like, Clap When You Land was like one of the first books that I willingly read, like back in high school, so that I bought like with my own money. So I wasn't really a reader back then, but I was reading Elizabeth Acevedo, okay? Okay. Next I read, which I actually have the physical copy of. Let me get it real quick. Okay, next I read Romeo and Juliet. I feel like everyone's read Romeo and Juliet, but I got this at the book warehouse in South Carolina, and I haven't read Romeo and Juliet since like high school. So I reread it. I feel like Romeo and Juliet I will always love, but I also kind of hate it. Like, I love it, but I hate it. Like, I love the love, and I love how in love they were and how passionate they were, but I feel like the ending is just always so dumb. Like, why'd you both take the poison? Like, what? Like, there was no thought behind that. Like, they're just like, one was just like, nah, I'm gonna take it, but I'm not actually gonna drink it. But like, you love me, so you know, like, telepathy. And then the other one's like, nah, you're gone, I'm gone. And then like, that was just so pointless to me. But I guess that's the beauty of it. I don't know, Shakespeare, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But for me, not really. 3.5 stars. It just, I love Romeo and Juliet, but I feel like half the stuff that happens in it is so pointless. And for what? Love. For love. So if that's your thing, read Romeo and Juliet. But also, I feel like there's so many different versions of Romeo and Juliet, and I feel like in the end they're always just so stupid. Because why do you both die? Is that a spoiler? Everyone knows Romeo and Juliet. I feel like everybody knows that. Like, I feel like there's like there's so many other ways Romeo and Juliet could have ended. Like, well, why are they dead? But yeah. After that, I read The Great Gatsby. As you can see, these books are tiny. I cannot sit and read 300, 400 page books this month. I have to read quick little reads, because if I don't, I'm not gonna beat this challenge. So we're going in with strategy, and that's the plan. I can't read like the longest books. There will be a long book like here and there, but like, honestly, I do not read that fast, okay? I have been sitting down for hours reading this month, which I do anyways, but like more than what I used to. Like, it's actually crazy the amount of time that I'll sit down. If I'm not at school, if I'm not doing schoolwork, I'm reading. And that's just that. But after that, I read The Great Gatsby. And have y'all seen this movie? Because I've never seen this movie. Like, is it good? Is it like the book? I read this book in high school. I read it again recently. I didn't really understand it in high school, and like, I still kind of borderline don't understand it now. Like, I get it, but I don't. So if anyone, like if you're a die-hard like classic The Great Gatsby type person, like what's really your opinion on it, and like tell me the vibes, because I don't really get it. Like I don't get the hype, even though it's a classic, so there really is kind of no hype, like it's just a classic. But like tell me, like I want to know what you think about The Great Gatsby, because I think it's okay. I'm not like in love. I'm glad I own it, I'm glad I read it, but it's nothing like groundbreaking for me. Like it didn't change my world, you know? So yeah, that's all the books I've read so far this month. I think that's like 5 something. So we're honestly on a roll, almost halfway there. So that's a vibe so far for September. I'm still reading. I was literally just reading on my Kindle, and I was like, I might as well start this video because I think it might be a little bit of a long one, but that's okay. So back to your regular scheduled programming. I guess we'll keep going as this month goes, because we do still have a few weeks left and I still have quite the few books to get through. So that's the vibe. Guys, I swore for some reason that I was keeping y'all updated, but I wasn't. I swore I updated this video at least 2 or 3 times, and apparently I haven't since the last time I spoke to you, which was back at the beginning of the month, and today is October 1st. Spoiler, I did reach my goal of 17 books, so I guess we just gotta go through the rest of them, because I apparently was looking for the footage and didn't update the videos. So I guess a little speed round, because 17 is a lot and I had only read like 5 or 6 the last time I updated you. So here's the rest, my ratings, how I felt about them. We're just gonna speed through all these, okay? Okay, so the next one I read after The Great Gatsby was Cinder. Love this book. I will be continuing with the series. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Cinder is basically about this cyborg girl, and it's basically, I don't even know how to explain it, because it's kind of like Cinderella. I guess that's kind of where she gets her name from, because Cinderella, but she, instead of like the shoe or whatever, it's her leg, because she's like, I think it's her foot, because she's like a cyborg, so it comes off half robot or whatever. So yeah, that's really the vibe. But honestly, it's not like a Cinderella retelling, because that's not really what it was giving, but it was kind of like there were similarities. Basically, this girl, there's this like virus or something going around. They find out she's immune to it. They work on her, try to figure out, you know, why you're immune, blah, blah, blah. And then so much just goes on. It's like fantasy, romantic-y type book situation. I wish I could explain it better, but I can't. So I'm just going to move on. I gave that book 4 stars. Loved it. Read it on my Kindle. It was like a super fast read. I really want to continue with the series, so I am. I have to. I have no other choice, because number 1, that book was good. They ate down. So Cinder. And then I finished the little Amazon novella series. I forget what it's called. The Meet Cute? I think that's what the series is called. But I basically finished it this month. None of them were really too great, not gonna lie. So the ones that I read, we're gonna go in order. Rosie and the Dreamboat, 3 stars, nothing too special. It was cute. The Worst Wingman Ever, 4 stars. That one's by Abby Jimenez, so it was one of the better ones. Not too great though, but it was pretty good. So like if you wanted to read any of the 5, because I think it's 5 in the series, read that one and read the Christian Hannah one, because I love the Christian Hannah one and I like the Abby Jimenez ones, and the rest were like not great, which sucks because Ashley Poston wrote one of them and she's currently one of my favorite authors with Christina Lauren. So I just didn't really like hers, which kind of made me sad because I loved everything she's ever written except that. So yeah, Jock Cover and Hold On, that's like the 3rd or 4th of the series, I really don't know, by Jasmine Guillory. I gave it 3 stars. They're nothing too special, they're just cute, quick little reads, which is kind of what I needed for this month. Cute, quick little reads. So after that, we read Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies, 3 stars. I didn't love it. It wasn't really on my TBR though. I just saw it on my Kindle and got it, honestly. I heard so much about that book, so much, I wouldn't say hype, but people talk about it all the time. So I wanted to see how I felt about it. It was nothing too great for me. I feel like this kind of fantasy is a whole different kind of fantasy than what I'm used to. Because I'm used to like Divine Rivals, Stolen Air, like that kind of fantasy. This was very different. So I think that's why it might be a little low for me. I think I might still read the next one. Not too sure. I just wasn't in love with the book at all, but 3 stars. Don't let my rating deter you from reading it. If you want to read it, you should read it. Next, I finished What Happens After Midnight by K.L. Walther. I love K.L. Walther. I don't know if this is one person, 2 people. I don't know who this is, but The Summer of Broken Rules, loved. What Happens After Midnight, loved. I have to read the other one because it's like fall, I think, and it's fall because it's officially October. So excited for that. I have to read that sometime soon. I will be reading it sometime soon because I love K.L. Walther. But this book I gave 3.5 stars. I didn't love it as much as I loved The Summer of Broken Rules, which I gave 5 stars. But I loved that book. So that's just that. I still like this book. I just didn't like it as much as I liked The Summer of Broken Rules. Like, I loved The Summer of Broken Rules, and that's okay. Next was like my chunky read of the month. My boyfriend made sure I had to read this book this month, and that was 11/22/63 by Stephen King. This book made me so mad. I've never been so mad at a book ever in my life, I don't think I've ever been so mad about a book in my life. First off, this book is a romance book. This isn't, like, I thought it was just some fun, like, time travel, magical realism, because, like, the time travel type situation, save freaking JF Kennedy. No, like, this is a romance book, and a lot of what happens, or especially at the end, a lot of what happens in the book is because it's a romance book and because he feels a certain type of way about this girl that he met, blah blah blah. But also because the consequences of just changing the past. The butterfly effect is really crazy when you think about it. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but this book, it was interesting, definitely a different read. I would recommend for anybody, but the romance caught me off guard because I was like, what? But it ended up being like romance. So if you didn't know that, now you know. It's a romance book to me. So I gave this book 4 stars. It's just like mega long. Like, this book is big as the Bible. Like, this is a huge book. I feel like it was just a big book. Would I read it again? Maybe if I had a buddy to read it with, but I didn't. I was reading it by myself, and so it was just kind of a lot to get through. But I did it. Glad I did it because it was a great book. I'd never read a Stephen King book before, so I think this was a good one to start with. Maybe I'll get into him a little bit more, but 4 stars, it was good. Next, With Any Luck, Ashley Paulson. This is the book, another one of the previous series that I said that I did not enjoy. Ashley Paulson, I love her so much. This one just didn't do it for me, but every other thing she's written in the world ever in her life, I love. So this one was just a miss for me. 2 stars. Next was Royal Valentine. This one I hated the most. I hated the most out of the whole series. I did not enjoy this one bit. Also, this was so much longer than the other ones. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just hard sitting through it. Maybe that's what made it feel so long. Didn't enjoy this one. Don't know what it was about it. I just did not enjoy it at all. 2 stars. Well, 2.5, but you know, whatever. Local Woman Missing. Read this. Y'all, the first, like, the whole beginning of the book, did not enjoy. And then you get to, like, the second half, like the ending half, where stuff starts going down. First of all, I predicted the twist. I just knew. Predicted the twist, but, like, that's fine. Even though I don't really read too much thrillers / mystery, so I don't know if it's good that I could predict it because I don't really read that genre. So it was kind of obvious to me, but other people, I don't know, predicted the twist, and then I don't know. did not enjoy it. The writing style was like weird. It's like I hated how certain POVs were written, and then like the beginning, the prologue, normal. The like part 1, the writing style was just like, ugh, like I did not enjoy it. I've never please, this is making me so mad. I've never read a book by Carrie Kubeka. Hope I'm saying that name right. This was a first for me. I just didn't seem to enjoy it. I gave it 2 stars. Would I read another book by her? Maybe. This one just wasn't it for me. But if you're into the mystery thriller type situation and you're trying to get into that, this is okay. There's just so many other thrillers and mysteries to choose from. So I don't really know why you go for this, but do your thing. I just didn't enjoy it. 2 stars. And the last 2 books I read, Everything by Nicola Yoon. I read The Sun Is Also a Star by her. Loved it. Everything was good. It reminded me a lot of 5 Feet Apart and The Fault in Our Stars. Maybe they're all just a little similar. I haven't read those other 2 books in a hot minute. It's been a while, but that's what it was giving to me. I don't know what order what came out. I'm pretty sure Everything is the newest of those 3. So I don't know why they're so similar. If they're so similar, maybe I'm tripping. Let me know. But I gave it 3 stars. I like Nicola Yoon. It was a fun little fast read. I like her writing style, so it was enjoyable. And then the last book I read this month, or technically last month because it is October 1st today, but the last book I read of September was one of the only physical books that I read this month, which is kind of crazy, but freaking I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I think I love memoirs. Like, I read Britney Spears' memoir not too long ago. Loved it. I don't read memoirs because at the end of the day, this is somebody's life and I don't really want to do that. But I loved this book, and I'm not even necessarily a fan of Jeanette McCurdy. I'm not really an iCarly fan, Sam and Cat fan. That era just was not for me. I didn't even really like Victoria's all that much. Granted, Victoria's had some really good songs. I just didn't like the show. So there's that. This isn't gonna make me want to watch iCarly or Sam and Cat or any of that, just because I don't think anything can make me want to watch that. Those are just not for me, and that's fine. That's fine. Don't come for me, please. Those just aren't my favorite shows on the planet. So this doesn't really make me want to go and watch those, but having respect, put some respect on Jeanette McCurdy's name, because she was going through it. And honestly, I'm not a fan, so I wouldn't know to begin with, but I feel like she was very vulnerable in this book, which people usually are in their memoirs, but I love this. And I might not be a fan of iCarly or Sam and Cat, but we put respect on Jeanette's name. Period. Okay, so yeah, this is the last book I read this month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. If you liked it, you should subscribe. And if you didn't like it, you should find another video on my channel and subscribe after that. And I'll see you guys next time I post, which will hopefully be soon. Bye. Say bye, Spidey. Say bye. 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 I had such a crazy reading month. It's actually crazy that I achieved 17 books because your girl was on the go. But that's what winter does. This is what winters look like. Period.